Fight and Talk back again in today. I'm delighted to say I'm joined by Aaron Khalid of his welterweight clash against Mick Stanton on Cage Warriors 114. Aaron, first things first, mate. Thanks for taking some time out to talk to us tonight.
No problem, man. No problem.
Can't not talk about it. How have the last few months been for you? Very different, I can imagine.
Yeah, very up and down, to be honest with you. At the start, it was a bit come and go, like didn't know what was going on, and then lost my job. Managed to get a job back then, though, and then training started up again. So just getting better now.
Yeah, of course, at the Matt Academy there under Lou Long. What was that vibe like when them doors first opened for the first time? Sort of.
When it was amazing. It was like real good. Like everyone's been in good energy, good positive vibes to the gym. Everyone's pushing each other now. Everyone's been flat out since it's open. It's good.
If we look at this bout now as well, of course, Mick Stanton dropping back down to welterweight, you welcome him back to that 170-pound division. What do you make of the fight and sort of how did that come about? Was it a name you were expecting to be given for this one? Or?
No, it wasn't, because he recently fought a middleweight. I thought he was staying at middleweight because he didn't look that bad at middleweight. I thought, to be honest with you, I thought I was going to get Madars again because they tried matching us and I got injured. And he's come off a loss to Proctor, who's fighting for the title. I thought that was going to make sense, but they obviously got different plans for him. So yeah, it come on random.
So what sort of fight are you expecting from Mick Stanton?
A tough one. I think he's going to come looking to fight. He's going to try push the pace. He's got a very boxing heavy style. He likes to wrestle by the looks of his fights. He's a tough boy.
I know we've seen Cage Warriors shared that video today on Twitter about neither of you are a stranger to a submission. When it goes to the ground, how do you see that sort of playing out if it does end up going down?
I don't think he's going to be able to take me down. And if he does, I'm going to get straight back up. If I get on top of him, I don't think maybe survive a round. But I think I'll stop him if I do get on top of him.
For you as well, I mean, by the time you make the walk, it's going to be coming up, 15 months since you sort of last made the walk. You had that injury and then, of course, lockdown. How sort of frustrating has it been for you not to be as active as you want to be?
Yeah, pisses me off, especially because Proctor's got a title shot. These guys coming, and Jamie got a title shot as well. I'm like, fuck, that could be me if I won my fight in October, won my fight in March. That could easily be me. Well, yeah, that's been frustrating, so I'm not going to make any mistakes this time.
Has it sort of been for you almost like a blessing and a curse, because it's meant you can completely work on yourself, work on your own game for a full year, as opposed to having to focus on one opponent, then focus on another, but you've actually managed to develop yourself as a fighter just purely focusing on yourself?
Yeah, they have. And I've had a lot more, my mind's been more relaxed. Going back to training is helping massively, just improving, getting fitter, getting stronger everywhere.
So what sort of Aaron Khalid can we expect to see come September the 24th?
The best you'll ever see. He's going to realise a minute in, it's not the same Aaron he's been watching tape on. I'm going to bring it to him.
So I know I spoke to Mason about this the other day, but just how good is Welsh MMA right now?
Good. There's a lot of scary young talent nobody has seen come through, which the young boys at the gym, they're real good. They take on the pros. We got a boy in our gym, Deacon Thomas, who's around about the same weight as me and Lou, and he goes in with me and Lou, and he's only 18. It's real good. You've got loads of up and comers. You've got Oban, you've got Mason, you've got Ben Ellis, all fighting on Cage Warriors now.
Ben Ellis as well. I know being sort of deemed as the Welsh Khabib. What can we sort of expect to see from him? I'm talking to him next week. We're catching up for an interview, but what can you sort of tell us about him for maybe some fans who haven't seen him perform before?
Don't expect that to be Ben. Ben's a nice guy, but in the ring, he's a psycho. With the empty arena now, you're going to hear him talking a lot to his opponents. I don't know if a lot of you media guys hear it, but he does. He speaks a lot to his opponents. He's going to try and put the guy out in the first round. That's not just how Ben is. He's good. He's good everywhere. If the fight hits the ground, he'll stop him. If he's on the feet, he'll chew him up with strikes.
You mentioned, of course, there being no crowd there, will be silent. Will this be your first time fighting sort of in them sort of circumstances, if you like? And if it is, what are you expecting from it?
Yeah and no. It's a lot different to an MMA fight, but a lot of street fights, there's not really much crowd going on. And in sparring as well, we do spar pretty hard some days. There's no crowd there. It's just silence and just people hitting each other. So I think no crowd will play to my advantage. Like, it is a bit off-putting when you hear certain voices, screaming, you're like, oh, fuck's sake. It's
If you do get out of this one as well, injury-free, and you get your hand raised, where do you see that leaving you in the welterweight division?
Hopefully fighting for the title. Like, whoever gets it, Proctor, Mason, like, I respect to anyone who's fighting, but we'll all got the same goal. Whoever's in my way, I'm coming for him. So whether it be another fight for the number one contender shot, or if Jamie wins, like, I could call for that. He wants that rematch, surely. I beat him. He must want the same as Proctor. So middleweight or welterweight belt.
You mentioned that as well. I was going to bring it up later, but we'll bring it up now anyway. You're a man who's got sort of a better idea than most on two of these title fights that have been sort of announced so far, as you've been calling them on Twitter. Two of your exes fighting for these titles.
Oh, it's funny, isn't it?
How do you see Proctor and Jones playing out, and how do you see Frederick and Jamie Richardson playing out?
With the Proctor one, it's tough because he hasn't fought someone like Mason who's going to put it on him constantly for those 5 rounds. It is 5 rounds, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So it is either he's going to crumble, or he's going to bring up the best of Proctor, and it's going to be a good war. And Jamie and Frederick, I don't know how that fight's come about. I think Jamie needs another fight in middleweight just to get used to the weight. Do you mean Matthew Bonner isn't a big middleweight, where this Frederick guy is huge? Do you mean so? It's whether Jamie could deal with that weight or not. Like, Jamie's got Chris boxing, so it could go either way in that one as well.
So if Jamie did get the win and you get your hand raised, the move to middleweight for you could potentially be something we could see.
Either if Proctor wins, which I don't see, I think he'll crumble. I'll call for that. If Jamie wins, I'll call for that. I'm going to call for them both.
If you get out of this one sort of injury-free, good to go, how quick of a turnaround are you wanting? Because obviously a lot of the year's been lost due to lockdown. How quick do you want to be turning around and get back in there?
If all comes to, like, do you know what I mean? I go in here, we touch gloves, I throw a head kicks back, I'm out, boom, done. I'll fight again on the Friday or Saturday. Like, I'm in Manchester anyway, I've been tested, why not? But as soon as possible, if I do come out of injury-free, like, I don't really take that much time off after training anyway. I take like a week, but I'll still be around in the gym, and then I'll go back into training Monday, like the following week. So as soon as possible, really, if I'm injury-free.
I've spoke to a lot of fighters about this over the last few weeks, where there seems to have almost been, I guess, this mentality shift of fighters now, they'll take maybe a week, and then it's straight back training full-time, whereas maybe a few years ago, fighters would have a fight, they'd have a few weeks off or a couple of months off and then get back to it. Do you think this is now the next development that we're going to see in MMA, with it still being such a young sport, if you like, 25, 26 years? Do you think this whole idea now of athletes being ready 52 weeks of the year, ready to go, is going to be the new normal?
Yeah, definitely. Especially because where everyone lost their jobs and their incomes, there was no fights. Everyone was like, fuck, what do I do? So as soon as for the pros, as soon as like the doors opened again, they've been flat out. So the younger generation are going to see the pros being flat out and think, fuck, I want to be like that. My language.
It's all good.
To me, the monkey see, monkey do kind of thing. So yeah, I think it's going to catch on well.
You mentioned, of course, well, people have lost their jobs, and a lot of fighters rely on fight-to-fight sort of wages. And I believe it was just after the fight was announced, you had put out on Twitter saying, look, if anybody be interested in sponsoring, sort of get in contact with you. How important are sponsors for the likes of yourself?
Massively, because you want to be the best you can to go into a fight. I mean, and there's a lot of us that need to do work. Like myself, I got a family and kids and stuff, so I need to go to work regardless how much I need to train. That's got to come first. So having sponsors helps be the best I can for this sport.
In terms of sort of being the best for the sport as well, you've got a Welsh sort of MMA legend, Monday legend in your corner there. Of course, Lou Long, he's fought so many different promotions. What's that like to have Lou in the corner? So much experience, being able to coach you through bout to bout.
Amazing. Not just in the corner though, just in the gym in general, just having him taking classes, using his knowledge he's picked up over the years. And then when it's come to drilling and sparring, I'm with him. So we're working off each other. We're using what each other has picked up from different places on each other. Like, it's good. We're both, well, he pushes me, but it's good. It's good to have him around. It's good to have him in the corner. He's real, especially when his head's screwed on. He's motivated.
So finally, can I get a prediction off you? How do you see this fight going?
Stopping first or second round. I think I'll hit him to the body or legs. He's going to rush him for a takedown. I'll get the sweep. I'll finish him on top.
Spot on. Aaron, I really appreciate your time. Thank you very much, mate.
Thank you, man. Cheers.
Cheers.